So, what is the plot of a movie? The plot is nothing more than the series of events that happen over the course of the movie. Plot is usually described by saying this happened, then this happened, then this happened, so on and so forth. These events are caused by things that happen to the character or their situation, or the things that the character does, their actions. So let's take the example of the movie The Incredibles, great classic movie. So the plot of the movie could be described as, well, there's a superhero, Mr. Incredible, who's bored of life after superheroes are banned. Then he gets called on a mission by this strange company to help defeat this robot. Then he finds out that the real villain is the guy who invented the robot, and then Mr. Incredible has to call on the help of his superhero family to defeat the bad guy together. So, what is the story of a movie? Well, the story is the character development that occurs as a result or during the plot. This is usually an emotional dilemma that the character or characters have to overcome or resolve over the course of the movie. The plot is something that excites the audience, while the story is something that the audiences can relate to. With In The Incredibles, the story is about a guy going through a midlife crisis, stuck in a rut which he has to overcome so that he can be a better husband or better father to his family, and they can all get along. With just the story, The Incredibles would have most likely been a very boring, very serious, definitely not the kid-friendly movie that we know it to be. With just the plot, it would have been a pretty generic superhero film which would have probably never become this popular. But when you combine the two, you get a timeless classic. This is why the best movies have a balance of story and plot. However, in some cases, the story is so strong that you don't need a fancy, exciting plot. In other cases, the plot is so strong that you don't need any emotional or character development. Generally, probably a better idea to have a balance of both, especially if you're just starting out. Finally, your story needs characters. Now, characters don't have to be humans, they can be animals, toys, cars, anything that Pixar has made a movie about, and more. The most important thing is that your characters need to be authentic, relatable, and three-dimensional. When characters are relatable, they usually engage audiences on a much deeper level. It doesn't just have to be the hero that the audiences can relate to. Some of the best villains are often the ones that the audiences can connect with and sympathize with, as much as they hate to do so. So, how can you create three-dimensional characters? Well, a character's first dimension is their surface level traits, any little quirks or the way they behave in public or with other people. All these things count as one dimensional traits. Usually, the only characters that should be one dimensional in your movie are the extras or the supporting characters. The next dimension is the second dimension. This accounts for the backstory of your character, their childhood, any trauma, any inner conflicts, dreams, ambitions, things like that. This will help you justify your character's actions and reasoning, and also help your audiences gain a more valuable insight into your character. Finally, a character's third dimension is their morality and their moral substance. If the character has the opportunity to hit someone but they don't, or if they weren't allowed to go to a party but went anyway, all of these actions actually speak volumes about your character. Morality is one of the most important elements of making your character seem real and authentic, and to show that your backstory and your surface level traits are not usually what define you as a person. This last dimension is the last step in making your character three-dimensional. To make and stay true to authentic characters, it's a good idea to make a character sketch for at least the main characters. This will give you an idea of what each character should say, how they should behave, how they should react, etc., which will help you significantly when writing your story and staying true to the authentic characters that you've created.